Of course, beyond trade security and the security in the Black Sea, the war causes much more negative consequences. And the biggest one, of course, is the challenges before the materials and goods to be exported from Ukraine and Russia. There are multiple ideas in place, and finally we know that the United Nations has a plan which includes the supervision of vessels. So between Ukraine, the Russian Federation and Turkey, we can establish a mechanism and establish a collaboration. So this is one possible plan.
And joining us now is our correspondent in Ankara, Jasper Mortimer. Jasper, what exactly came out of this meeting with regard to the blockade of the Ukrainian ports?
Yes, the talks you were just listening to there were held in the presidential palace behind me. And the most important issue was how can Ukraine export its wheat and sunflower oil without endangering its own security? Ukraine has mined the sea along its coastline for fear of the Russians staging D-Day-like landings on Ukrainian beaches. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov repeatedly said today that to export its wheat and sunflower oil, all the Ukrainians had to do was to demine their coastline. As to the chance that Russia would exploit such demining for its own military purposes, Lavrov said, and I quote, "If Ukraine eliminates the mines, we will definitely not misuse the corridors," unquote. However, I suspect Ukraine is going to want more than the Russian foreign minister's word on that before it agrees to create such corridors for ships to come in and take away its grain. And the Russians, of course, will want to inspect those ships to make sure that they're not carrying any arms to the Ukrainian army. So it's a complicated situation. The Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu said, "We need a mechanism to alleviate the security concerns." He also said that the UN had come up with a feasible plan. He didn't give the details of that plan, but it had to be approved by the Ukrainians and the Russians. And there was talk of a meeting in the near future between the three countries, Ukraine, Russia, and Turkey, as well as the UN, to approve such a plan.
Well, Jasper, Ukraine was not the only thing on the agenda today. What else was on the table?
Well, the most important other item from Turkey's point of view was Syria. You know, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been saying for weeks now that Turkey is going to go into northern Syria to drive the Kurdish militia 30 kilometers from the Turkish border. Now, northern Syria is a patchwork of territories held by various groups. You've got the Kurdish groups, who tend to be backed by the US. You've got the Syrian government forces, who tend to be backed by Russia. And then the Russians and the Americans have their own forces in northern Syria. And a Turkish incursion would definitely upset the military balance of northern Syria. It is said that Turkey will not go into northern Syria unless it gets the green light from either the Russians or the Americans. And US Secretary of State Blinken has come out very strongly against a Turkish incursion. Today, from Lavrov and Çavuşoğlu's comments, we saw that differences between Turkey and Russia still remain over Syria. So it looks as if Turkey didn't get the green light that it was seeking.
Okay, we want to thank you, our correspondent in Ankara, Jasper Mortimer. Jasper, thanks a lot.